All right, we are live with the Tech Stack Playbook. I have my good friend Tom, who's a fellow AWS community builder, back for more coding action. Last time we did a live, Tom, you led us through like a really cool serverless tic-tac-toe game.
Yeah.
So that was like super fun. So yeah, awesome to have you back. Do you want to just introduce yourself to anyone that's new to the channel or new to you and your work?
Lovely. Yeah, thanks, Brian. Yeah, so we're both community AWS community builders. We've really enjoyed being part of the program, and that's how we met. Actually, we kind of started doing a couple of videos together, learning about AWS. Both of us did the cloud practitioner, so that was really good. Now I'm starting with the AWS. Cloud architect associate, so slow work with that, but hopefully get that. I have got an exam booked with the vouchers for the 20th, so
Oh,
fingers
nice.
crossed, but I might struggle. And yeah, Java developer, junior Java developer, and kind of business analyst. Yeah, really enjoying. I started in 2017, so that's part of the point of our work together, that hopefully public learning, and hopefully that's interesting for people, and also it's a really good way to learn. I think we can get stuck into AWS Step Functions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. And maybe just for anyone that's new to serverless, new to AWS, what are step functions? Like, how would you describe what a step function is? Obviously, it's a function with steps, but like more than that, like what exactly are they useful for, in your opinion?
Yeah, well, I think one thing I've been playing with, as with you, I mean, it's starting with the Lambda, and that's really nice to be able to use the Lambdas and kind of make a little function, usually using Python or JavaScript, because that's already in the window when you're writing in the on the AWS console, so that's good. And the step functions allow you to tie each of these lambdas together, so they're a really nice way to kind of give a bit more orchestration to these single functions and allow you to group them into a broader backend.
Awesome. And also in terms of Lambda functions are actually really cool because you could run an app almost kind of like running a server, but it's all serverless. And we'll get a little bit into it, but in a little bit, in a few moments. But I think one of the things that's really cool about connecting Lambda functions with an API gateway, such as AWS API Gateway, is so everything is super secure. Something that I was actually learning a little bit about on the front end side, you can do a lot of serverless functions from the front end, but then when you have like a string and it's exporting like private keys, that's something that you want an API gateway or an API to protect. So from the front end, nothing is getting rendered out that could leave your system vulnerable or just expose your private keys of your software to the public, because that would obviously be really bad. So one of the really great ways of, for example, like API Gateway and then connecting to Lambda functions is so all of this can be happening in the background. You have this API endpoint and your front end will be able to connect to that, but it's gating a lot of those back end security functions. So it's a really great way to create, I'd say, like it's like the serverless framework, right, Tom? It's like being resilient and being durable and scalable and highly secure. So
Mm.
that's what we're all about as engineers. So
Definitely.
yeah.
So, and in terms of like the sessions, because obviously this is quite, I mean, I spent quite a long time kind of, as I'm sure you did as well, just like working out how the step functions work and all of that. We can start very simple, and then, I mean, this might even be a couple of sessions, mightn't it, Brian? Just
Mhm.
working through these. I think the thing that we were kind of wanting to start with was perhaps making 3 Lambda functions, which are like single functions, which are kind of we create in our console. So Brian will show us that. And then for the moment, we won't have any choices. We'll just have one Lambda going to the next one, going to the next one. And that might be all that we achieve this time. But that's a good start, because that will show us kind of how this step functions works. And then maybe if we have time this time, we can start getting into the choices, because each step function will then have a choice. So it'll have a little kind of branch. And there's a really nice icons which kind of show us how it's called the I forgot what it's called now. There's a kind of a graphical interface which shows you all of like the JSON and kind of writes it for you. So it's quite clever actually. Cool. So I think it's called Workflow Studio. This thing, which is kind of gives us the this graphical user interface. So that's quite good fun.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Also, Jones from the AWS Community Builders Program, he just posted it in the chat. And he said, "Hey!" So, cool. Hey Jones, awesome to have you here. Thanks for tuning in. So yeah, so let's get into it. I'm gonna go set up my screen, and we'll be able to rock. All right, get some music playing in the background.
Nice.
All right, there we go. All right, cool. So hopefully you can see my screen. I'm actually going to expand this out a little bit. Cool. How's that on your end? Is that easy to see?
It's quite blurred at the moment.
Oh, is it? Okay, yeah, I'm going to zoom in like quite a lot. How's that? Is that a little bit better?
Yeah, it's improving.
All right. Yeah, I think I have to zoom in like way more.
Yeah, that's a bit better.
Better? Okay, awesome. So in terms of where we are going to start. So Tom, this was super cool when I was like going through this. So let's say, and basically what we're going to be doing is creating an age sorter. So you put in an input, a number, or any string of characters, you'll submit it. It'll go through basically two alerts. One is just pinging the API gateway, and then the other one's going to then pull back and say, basically categorizing what your input is. So just to kind of walk through, like let's say that I put in like my age is 4, obviously my age is not 4, but we'll put that in here. We'll click submit. And then I get an alert here. So it says that it's basically pinging the ARN of my state machine with choice. We'll say okay. Then it says succeeded. So that meant that this was a successful number, obviously because it's a number. And then I see that this is a child. So then let's see if I try to do like 35. So again, get that alert. It's going to succeed. Now it's going to say it's an adult. But let's say if we tried to put like Apple, obviously Apple is definitely not an age. So if we do submit, do that again. So it failed. So obviously it knows that Apple isn't that. And then even if we tried to put in like a string of characters, like in between it, submit, it's going to go failed. So this is a really great way where it can decipher inputs. Obviously, this is just for age, but you could use step functions such as this, and we'll go through more of the code in the back end, but this is a really great use case for walking through and validating certain things. So if you wanted someone to put in maybe like a credit card number and you're looking for a specific string, it could validate that it's a number, it could validate that the back end is correct and that it matches into something that it's looking for, and then also sort of create a success or a failed status. So that can be really helpful also for just verification, validation, authentication, or any sort of inputs. And specifically for something like this, it's really helpful because you'd be able to know if you put in something below a certain threshold, it'll categorize it as a child, or if it does it above a certain sort of threshold, that's an adult. Or if you put in like an inanimate object or a fruit or something like that, it'll know that it's neither of those categories. So Tom, this was awesome what you put together. This was like very cool. And yeah, we definitely might need a couple sessions for this actually, because I know that this is like quite a lot of stuff, but I think for anyone that's tuning in or wants to learn about how to do serverless compute, don't need servers. This all runs in the cloud. This is just a simple front end to be able to basically get your app like up and running. I'm using Code Sandbox just because it's like a really great collaboration tool. Yeah, it's awesome. I got this like a couple of weeks ago, and it's completely like changed how I'm able to code and collaborate with other people. So super awesome, and it kind of does like everything that VS Code would do, but just collaborated. like you could collaborate with people, especially across time zones, like anywhere in the world. So it's a really great way to just just get set up with your coding environment. So Tom, do you want to just go through just like kind of the overall structure of what we're going to build first?
Yeah, well, I really liked your point that because you made a very nice point about making these, because step functions is great, it sounds really cool, but obviously using it, having it so it's usable through like the user story is a really nice idea, which you've mentioned, and when we chatted last time. And I think that's one thing we've tried to do here. Some of the JavaScript code is pretty, it's pretty bad actually, but it's a good start. And this is a kind of fetching from the API gateway to find the response from the age, and then we're using the on. So firstly, we make a query to the Step Functions Lambda, which is a API gateway post. So we're posting our age, and then we have to actually get a response from the Lambda. So we have to actually get using the on, and that's going to tell us the status of the response. So there's two sides to this loop, basically. So the first one, which is sending the age, and then the step function is doing all the work, and then subsequently in the next one, which was the slightly awkward bit, and actually is still prone to failure. So any suggestions are much appreciated. But this was a second fetch for the actual result of our step function, and that uses the ARN. So the ARN actually tells us the response from our step function. We use that to get the result. Yeah, so that's the front end. And that's why I was thinking maybe we could start with just getting to know the step functions, because there is a bit of interaction here as well in terms of the API gateway with the step functions, and then so the interaction of it all is quite a lot to do. So we can start with the step function itself. Mm-hmm. Or actually start with the lambdas. So let's go to a lambda and let's make a new lambda, which is going to be called get person age, I suppose.
Yeah, awesome. Let me pull up AWS.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I'm gonna add this here. So just for anyone that that wants to get kind of started with this, so we're using React as a front end framework, and then we're going to be using AWS in the back end. So AWS, super easy to set up an account. Just a heads up, you will need to put a credit card on it, but you're not actually going to get billed for anything. One of the great things about Serverless is you basically pay as you go, but they have really generous free tiers to get started with a lot of things. So we're not obviously going to be doing anything that's super like cost intensive. Like imagine like with APIs, like a lot of the pricing is around like the request. So think like Uber or Google or any like Amazon, they're getting pinged by so many users around the world all the time. That's what drives up the price. But obviously this is just a simple project, so we're not going to be incurring very many costs. So you would basically take this, you're going to search for Lambda.
Excellent.
Man, I can spell, I promise you. So run code without servers. That's what Lambda is all about. So we're going to have a whole bunch of functions here. So we're going to create a function.
Lovely. And you can sometimes, if you want to practice writing the function, you can do that on your own computer if you wanted to check that first. But we're going to do it directly in the console. So that's good. And that's the great thing. With some languages, you can do that straight away. So for instance, with Python and JavaScript, you can write your function directly in the AWS console. So I think, we can author from scratch, and we can call this one get person age.
So I'm just making this zoomed in a little bit for anyone that's on the live. Is that coming in kind of still blurry to you, or is that?
That's clear. Yeah, that's good. Get person age. That's good. And we're going to use Python.
So you can have a number of different inputs. Yeah, I kind of experiment with like Node.js or Python, but it supports Python 3.9, so we'll click that.
Lovely.
And these are just different permissions, but we're not going to be adding anything like new, right? We're just going to create a role based on Lambda. Awesome.
I think that's correct.
There are some advanced settings, but you don't really have to worry about any of those. So we'll do create function.
Yeah, I think later on I might have added some permitted actions, but we can look at that later. So yeah, so we create a function, and that is pretty cool, isn't it? You see our Lambda, get person age, and we can start with yeah, we can see the code.
Yep. And also for anyone that this is like super new to, I remember sort of thinking that this was like super intimidating when like I first started like seeing this, and I was like, what the heck is all of this stuff? So just like, if you think about it, it's trying to basically create like a GUI or a graphical user interface for how a lot of this stuff is happening. A lot of this stuff is just code that's running in cloud servers. So we sort of want to appify it, if you will, or make it visual. So we see that this is the symbol for Lambda, so that's just the orange thing. You see get person age is here. We don't have any layers yet. You can add a trigger, so if something happens, this will fire, or if this fires at a destination. So if you wanted to like send something to an S3 bucket, like or DynamoDB, you could like filter things. But basically, there's these different tabs here for testing, monitoring, configuration, or just different versions of things. So a lot of what's like helpful to kind of understand is like, you don't really have to worry about this right now. This is sort of, for all intents and purposes, like Cloud 9. It's like a VS Code-ish cloud environment for coding. And this is going to be that place where we enter in all the code. So it has this very simple like Lambda setup, but we're going to be, of course, updating this as well. So.
Excellent. Yeah, and I think in a moment after we've written our code, we might change the configuration slightly, because that's a bit of a gotcha sometimes, just to change the configuration, I think, for the timeout. But we'll look at that in a moment. So for our code, we're literally going to just get a random number, so we can use our Python that we've written already, and we can have a age variable, and we can import random, because that gives us access to our we've got Boto3 at the top, and also we've got we can import random just before the function. And then age equals, and then I just need to try and remember what it was. I think it was just literally random, but I can check.
Yeah, I'm pulling up from Code Sandbox. Yeah, we just did random, so we can keep that there.
Yeah.
And then we're going to sort of define that handler, right? And we're going to take in two things, so an event and then some context. And
yeah.
Yeah, so you have. Do you want to just kind of like walk through like what will be coding out? I have it on the side, but yeah, we can kind of like.
So yeah, for the moment, we're just going to create a random number, and like we said, because it's quite a lot to take on for everyone to start with, so we're just going to play a little bit. We've shown you that we can do this front end part to it, so that's what we're going to work towards. But at the moment, we're just going to practice, use the Workflow Studio to create our step functions and to see how they work. And it's very visual as well, so that is wonderful. So we've got our get person age. We're going to have random, and it's random, so we import random at the top, and then age equals random.randint, and that's a random number between 1 and 100.
I'm just gonna do some comments just because like I feel like people might appreciate that. Yeah. So we're just basically creating a variable, right? We're gonna put it on random and then do random integer between 1 to 100. Super easy. And I believe we can kind of cut out of this stuff, right? We can kind of just basically just say that age, so the variable that we imported here. We're gonna then put we are gonna do age to age. So super, super easy.
Lovely.
Awesome.
And we can deploy that.
So we'll deploy
and also, yeah, we might want to change the configuration. If I remember, I think it's I just looked under configuration. I couldn't quite see. We want to change the timeout. So general configuration, yeah, under general configuration, the timeout. So configuration, and then general, top on the left. So yeah, just on the left. Lovely. Yeah, at the moment it's 0 minutes 3 seconds, so that's a bit short. So you want to make that to 5 minutes, just to be kind of give it a good time. And I think that's okay. The memory is the same. Yeah, and then we can save.
And also, just for anyone that's wondering sort of like what this is, so it's going to create sort of this whole role related to basically these functions. So that's just, if you're wondering like what that is, it's just a role to have it do this.
Yeah, definitely. That's something we should go into in like we should definitely explore, Brian, because the roles are quite frequently something you need to get right, because the permissions, sometimes that might cause an error. So it's good to get your roles right, and sometimes it can be easier just to use the wild card for our roles, so that we can allow as much as possible just for testing. So that's good.
100%.
Great.
Awesome.
So we deploy that.
Yeah, so let's give it a good old deploy. So also for anyone that's wondering, you can always test it, and you can always sort of see what's happening, and then you'll sort of get a state, like a status code or a response for what's going on. So just if you ever want to test something before you actually deploy it, this can really help in terms of not like eating up requests or just credits in general. Just so that you can always test, sort of like that test-driven development mode. But we're going to deploy this, and you'll see your changes are saved, and it'll see updated as of a minute ago, which is great. So now, are we going to try to create another couple of files?
Yeah. So let's right click. Let's go to the test button, and then press on that arrow, and we configure a test event. And we can just delete those key values because we don't need those. We just have an empty curly brackets, and we can name our test event test. Logical name. Good. Yeah.
And
excellent. Cool. And then we can test it. Look at that. Look at that.
That's
age
great.
equals 2. So it's chosen a random number between 1 and 100, and we've got a response.
That's awesome. Can we just do this again? Like, I just want to see. Oh, look at that. It's always going to do that. How cool is that, guys? Like, this is all running in the cloud, and this is 9 lines of code, 10 including the space. How cool is that? That's super cool. So this is randomizing just from that. Like, this is the coolest thing of code. It's like such the littlest things that can do a ton of things, and it's going to always do between 1 and 100. So like anytime you do it, it'll always be between those bounds. That's awesome.
Yeah, cool. That's good. So we've done well. So that is a Lambda. That's our first Lambda, and we are going to create our simple state function, which is we can our simple step function. So we've done our first function within this step function, which is get person age. Now, as part of our step function, because as we mentioned, it's a rather contrived example, but it's getting someone's age, and we're going to check whether that person is a major, as in like older than 18, or younger than 18, which is a minor. At the moment, we're just going to have all of our functions in one line, but then subsequently, maybe at the end of this session, we're going to show you how you can make choices according to what is returned by the random number. So let's go on to our next function, which is
Tom, not to cut you off, but we just got a couple messages in the YouTube channel.
Cool.
So Jones was wondering, the Python code which was shared from a local IDE, which was Code Sandbox, so that could be published as Lambda code via SAM or CDK or CLI, right? He was wondering, like, any reason behind the console development.
Yeah. So that was just for us to start and keep it as simple as possible. But definitely, Brian, we should do that in future. We should try and start using serverless.
Mm-hmm.
That would be good to start using SLS deploy or SAM to deploy from the command line, and that's even more kind of cool. But we'll stick with the console for the moment because it's really nice, and particularly also because we like this workflow studio that you get with the step functions, this visible kind of visual aspect, which is good for us to see and to kind of get a clearer idea of how it works. So Workflow Studio is a treat that's coming up, but definitely SLS deploy, so serverless. The serverless framework is excellent and really, really good to look into. We'll try and include a link with the video, and then also SAM as well, SAM. Which you can use on your command line, so we can use that as well in future sessions.
Yeah, and we use SLS deploy with the tic-tac-toe game that we made earlier this year. So
we did.
Yeah, there's a lot of great stuff. Also, I've been using Amplify framework a lot for just for CI/CD deployment and everything. So that's a really great way to integrate a whole serverless environment for applications. But yeah, a lot of cool stuff to dive into. But yeah, thank you so much, Jones. Yeah, and Jones said, cool. Yeah, for beginners, console is simple to get started. Thanks. Yeah, of course. Thanks for tuning in. And he also said about the power of serverless and event-driven architectures. So awesome.
Excellent.
Yeah, we're getting some good comments in the chat. This is awesome.
Yeah.
All right, Tom. Cool. So we have our randomizing function in Python. What are we doing next? What's the next step for us here?
Yeah, so we want to go into our next function because we're going to do our 3 functions first, just so that we've got them, and then that will be easy to kind of put in with our step function. So our next one is going to be let's just checking, just trying to remember. The next one will be when I look at my one, and it's going to be classify as major. So classify as major.
All right, so we're going to do right click in the white space, and then we'll do new file. And then we're going to do classify.
No, we're going to create a separate lambda, separate lambda, sorry. So go to create a new lambda. So yeah, that's fine. And
then we'll go back to functions, right?
Lovely.
Awesome.
Yeah, filter by major, we can call it.
And we'll use Python again, keep all the architectures the same, and we'll do create function. And these are just, we're going to keep the defaults. We're going to create a new role based upon all the other stuff above, and we'll do create function.
Excellent.
So this is going to basically replicate that same structure, except this is going to have a different role based upon the function that we're going to be writing here. So this looks pretty familiar before, right? We got the same map, same code environment, and this is just the same code. That's the starter code from every time.
Yeah, I think with the permissions, you can add CloudWatch as well, but we can look at that. Yeah, we can look at the CloudWatch logs later. So classifiers major. So this is taking the event. It's going to take the event from the the first function, because we're going to tie them together within these step functions. So it's got event and context as before. That's what each of these handlers have. And we are going to have a return statement from this depending on what we get from the event. So we can have our classification. So classification equals unknown to start with, or I mean we can just get the age to start with. So age equals classification.
I will do classification. Yeah.
Yeah. Good. Yeah.
And we'll set that to unknown because we don't know it.
Mm-hmm.
And then are we going to do sort of like an if statement? So like if something is X, then return it. Is that like the overall goal?
Good. Yeah. So we assign the event. So within the event, we've got our age, which has been sent from our earlier function, because we're going to tie them together within the step functions. So if event age is greater than or equal to 18, then we're going to assign classification to adult. Lovely. Else, it could be child, I suppose. Actually, no, we don't know still, because this is classifiers major. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Good. So it's still unknown, and then the event age, and then we're going to add the age to the response, so we can return our classification. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And also the age. Lovely, and we want a comma after classification.
Yes. Awesome. So just to kind of walk through this, so we're defining this handler. We're going to take this variable classification that's unknown. Then we're going to get the age from the previous statement. We're going to pass the age through event. And if it's greater than 18, it has to be an adult. So this is anything that's 18, including 18 or older. It's going to be an adult. And then we're going to return that as a classification. Is that fair, right?
Yeah, that's good. And we can add a print statement as well. So we can just ensure that it's, so underneath the if, we can just print event square brackets age. And we can do that outside of the if. So just delete the space. Delete the tab, yeah.
There we go.
Great. Okay, so that's going to print the age and what is sent in the event. So that's good. So that is number 2, our second function, done.
All right.
Classifiers major, or whatever we called it.
Sweet. Yeah, so we were doing filter by age.
Yeah.
I think you had originally called it like classify by major, but
that's good.
Yeah. Okay, cool. This is great. So then we'll deploy this.
Yeah.
That's fair. Okay. Make sure to save it, and then we'll deploy. All right, cool.
And we can test it as well. Oh, no, we can't really, because we're not going to get the event. So we'll wait until we've tied it into the step function.
Mm-hmm.
Good. All right, then. So our next one is going to be Classifiers Miner.
All right, so
yeah.
We're going to do Python 3.9.
Yeah.
And we are going to, again, just not touch any of this. So we're just going to create a new rule based upon Lambda function and create function.
Okay, so this is filtered by miner, so we can classification equals unknown again, age equals event age, because we're still getting the same event coming through. Well, we get the age from, did we return the age from the minor one? What did you do with the, anyway, we'll find out. What was the minor one? What's it look like? Filtered by minor.
Yeah, let's go back.
Filtered by major. Let's just see what you return. Because they're all going to be in one line for the moment. So filter by major, what's that got? And just in the return, yeah, it's got the age, so you can still read the age because we're going to get that in the event of the next one as well. Good. Okay, so we get the classification and the age. That's good. And then we can look at our filter by miner now. Yeah. So we're going to edit that, and we're now going to add. We're going to add the classification again. Equals unknown.
And I'm going to just copy some of the stuff from before. I think it's going to be basically the same.
Yeah,
right?
literally the same. Yeah, exactly. Speed up.
Not just to like duplicate stuff. We like shortcuts when we can.
Yeah, we go.
So I think for this one, right? So because this is going to be a minor, it's anything that's under 18, not including 18. So again, adult is including 18 and above. This is everything that has to be under 18. So 17 or below, including 17. And then we're going to change this to child. And print is age, which we could do.
Yeah, that's good. It's nice to get the print statements. Okay, and that is our 3 functions. So we've got get person age, filter as major, and filter as minor. Great.
So are we good to give this a quick deploy?
Yeah, we deploy that.
All right.
Oh, have you changed the timeout on that one as well? Yeah, the configuration.
Oh yes, good call. Good call.
Yeah, it's a bit of a gotcha.
Yeah.
Did you do that on the other one as well?
I was gonna say I definitely did not. So we're gonna have to change that.
Yeah.
Yeah, good call there. Good catch, good catch. So we're gonna just again go to the configurations. We're gonna do general configuration. This is such a good catch actually, because didn't AWS do something recently where they changed the timeout time for Lambdas? I thought this was like a new thing to make it 3 seconds. I could totally be making that up, but
yeah.
But either way, just make sure if you're expecting it to be more than 3 seconds, you always have it as higher than that. Probably if you were going this into production, you would want to optimize it as much as possible. So like if you know that something is supposed to take a minute or less, you might want to make it stop at a minute. Because like, let's say that the function is erroring, for example, if it's just replicating something for 5 minutes when it's not supposed to take that long, then that could just be eating into bandwidth or just making it less efficient. So obviously like this is just 5 minutes for us to test, but obviously if you're like pushing this to production, you'd want to optimize it way more.
Excellent. So now we go to our step functions.
All right. So just for anyone that is tuning this, so step functions, these are different than Lambda functions, right? This is like a totally different setup.
Yeah, so step functions are going to be used to orchestrate our lambdas. So they're going to tie them together into one start and finish. So that's a really useful aspect of these. And they're a really nice kind of way of bringing all of our individual bits of code together into one kind of back end. So that's what we're going to use.
And just also for anyone that's new to the console, so this is like when we search for Lambda. So these are all different AWS services, right? But specifically for what we're doing, step function is another one of those services, which is here. And then its top features include like state machines, activities, and then they have also some sample projects if you want to get involved. But this is coordinating exactly what Tom said, but in more than 3 words. But I was going to say in much more clarity than what they have here. But yeah, this is what you were just describing. So assembling functions easily, and this is what it's going to look like. So this was cool when you were sharing with the screenshots you made of creating the step function. It's like really easy to just like drag and drop these into here from start to end. So we're going to be doing this. So we'll get started. Cool. So this is exactly what it's going to look like. Yeah, and I actually haven't done step functions before, so this is going to be a little bit new to me. So when we create this, this is of course just like the example that pops up. So are we good to just click next, or do we want to sort of start editing code in here, or?
So we want to go to state machines. Yeah. And create state machine.
All right.
Okay, and yeah, design your workflow visually. Yeah, that's
Right,
good.
so that one.
Standard, that's fine.
Right.
Excellent. Now we're in the workflow.
Awesome.
Cool. So we're just going to have invoke functions, I think. So let's just check. So this is my. We can name it in a moment. So yeah, is this just describing? I think it's telling us.
Yeah, these were all invoked from the screenshots. Yeah.
Yeah. Lovely.
So we'll do a bunch of these. Yeah. So let's try to see if we can.
Yeah, that's good. So we want to edit that. So we're in the Workflow Studio. We want to look at our first one. We're going to assign get person age to the first invoke. And then we're going to have to enter a function name.
All right. So do we have to go back to Lambda and then put in the ARN?
No, it should be able to find it from the functions that we've created. Is that not showing up?
Oh, here we go. Yeah, it's going to have everything here.
Lovely. So the first one was get age, was it? Or
get age. Get person.
Yeah, get person age. Lovely. Cool. That's good. We've got that. And then we want to have the next state that it's going to call. For the moment, we're just going to go with, well, actually, we can add our next invoke. Yeah. Should be all right to do that. Yeah, lovely. And then for the first one, we're going to invoke, well, this next one's going to be called Classifiers Major. Yeah, and that one's going to be Classifiers Major, that one. Cool. And then just back on the get person age one, I think the additional configuration you want to add classifiers major as the, or filter. Yeah, actually I've confused things. It's filter by as major, isn't it? What you called it? The actual Lambda. It's better to call the invokes the same name as the Lambda. So you've got filter by major. So you can call that next step in the step functions as filter by major.
Yeah, I'm just going to pull these up. Just so we have them. Yeah, so get person age.
Yeah, because I was going to say on the get person age, you want additional configuration, and the next state is, so scroll down. Yeah. Okay, so you're on the classifiers major. So you want to assign a function to it now. So just down there is the function name. Yeah.
Oh, is it gonna let me search for it?
Lovely. Filter by major. Do you want to change the name of that as well to filter by major, just to avoid confusion?
Yeah, true.
Excellent.
Cool.
And yeah. I think you have to add an output to each of them as well. Yeah, but that's good. Add the next one.
Cool. We have all the functions there. And oh, and had another question in the chat. Why does the Lambda need minutes of timeout? Lambda is simple. It shouldn't need more than 3 seconds. Each state which invokes Lambda will be independent executions.
Yeah, fair point. I I just thought 3 seconds was going to be quite short, and I think, yeah,
There are a couple of them that I think do take, I think, more than 3 seconds, but it shouldn't be more than like 5. Yeah, I think this is just for us to test it, just to make sure that if it goes longer than the 3 seconds, then we'll be good to keep it going. Basically, like, it won't cancel or like quit out on us.
No, but it's a good point. That operation shouldn't take more than 3 seconds. I suppose it's a good habit to be in, just because it is a bit of a gotcha. So something to watch out for. But yeah, maybe it wouldn't need more than 3 seconds. So that's a good point. Cool. So
also, yeah, it'll give you a warning just that it's not saved. So just make sure you don't quit out on this if you haven't saved it yet. Obviously, we haven't saved it yet, but
excellent. And let's check over each of them then. So the get person age, has that got an output? So if you check the output for that, does it say payload at the bottom? Yeah, that's good. That's good. Excellent.
Hey, we shouldn't have to worry about any of these things. I think this is sort of already creating an example output from us.
Yeah, lovely. And on the configuration with each of them, do you have an ARN that has been added when you've... Yeah, lovely. That's
and it
good.
should be the ARN that's exclusive to each of these. So it's like 2899. I'm going to hope that it is. Let's find out.
Yeah, I think that's for each function. So each function has... Good. So that's your account number and the... Yeah. Okay, so that's good. And then we've got classifiers major. That has the same thing. It's got output, so that's good. And it's got payload. Excellent. And classifiers minor. So fingers crossed that is going to work. Then you can apply and exit.
And I think we wanted to put some choices in between stuff, right? Is that what we...
Yeah, so I was just thinking that we could just do this just to test it. Just keep it as simple as possible to start, and then we can add some choices, afterwards.
Awesome. So we get to go next?
Fingers crossed, yeah. Hopefully I haven't forgotten something. Cool, and this is the JSON that is, the JSON that is created. So this is quite interesting. It's the the icons have created this JSON for us. So later on, when we have our choices, we'll see variation on that as well. So it's quite clever.
So it's all putting this together for us. So we just had to create the functions, but now this is sort of this orchestrator environment for everything to get put together based on payloads and inputs from the functions that we put in. Awesome.
Lovely.
Cool. All right, so are we good to go next?
Yeah, so fingers crossed we can actually execute one of these, this state machine.
Cool.
This is the test. Hopefully we're going to see some print statements.
I'm just going to make the state machine, I'm just going to do like YouTube age sorter, just so that we'll remember that. And we'll create a new role, execution role. We'll keep logging off. Although if you wanted to have it on, you could. And we'll create it, yeah? All right. So fingers crossed, we're going to see if this works. All right. So it looks like it saved everything, which is great.
Okay.
So now do we want to start execution? And
hopefully it's going to work. Hopefully we haven't forgotten something.
All right, we'll see.
Yeah, and because the first function is going to create a random age, it doesn't use the context or doesn't use the event, so we don't need to add any kind of inputs here. If we had some event, we might want to add the fake data for our execution. But at the moment we can just start an execution because we're going to get our random number.
Awesome. All right, so we'll start execution. Yeah, fingers crossed. The moment of truth.
Oh no.
Oh no. Okay, so it failed. So let's find out.
All right, so we've got the person age. That's good. That's
this is checking out, and that succeeded. But then this failed.
Okay, so what was the input for this one? Age 31. Okay. What's the exception?
Built-in function or method. Object is not subscribable. subscriptable. All right, so this is where we get to do a little bit of live debugging, which is always fun.
I like the way you make that positive. It is good, yeah. That's what this is about, isn't it?
Yeah.
At least we're learning. We're not.
It's like if everything works out correctly, like I don't know, I feel like I learn the most when things don't work out, because then I know why something is working out correctly. So hopefully this will be a little bit helpful.
Yeah,
so
hopefully this one. Can anyone guess what? Can anyone look at the error? Tell us what's wrong.
I was gonna say this
I'm
is
sure
like
it's easy. I'm sure
great
it's easy.
being live, because then we could like get feedback from people.
So yeah, so just on the right hand side, there's an error. Can anyone see it?
Yeah, I was gonna say if Jones is watching, maybe he might know. But yeah, so sometimes like what I'll end up doing is I'll try to like go on Google and I'll try to like basically put in this error and be like, also probably pull up Stack Overflow.
Mm-hmm.
So we can always
also we can look at the error itself, because we got print at the bottom. We got but okay, yeah, it's good to check it. Good process.
But yeah, I'm just gonna put this up on the side of the screen. Yeah, I'm just gonna move this to my other browser.
Yeah, so something wrong with the.
Yeah, so I wonder if we didn't put the input in correctly. So
it's probably our code. So if we go back to the Lambda. Yeah, it was Classifiers Major that was failing, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yes, this is our code.
So print square brackets age was what was failing. Why would that fail? Because age is not. So age is not. Yeah, we're not referring to the event there, are we? Yeah. So we need to do print event age. Cool. I think that was me that said that. So it should be event as with outside of the square brackets, like the on line 8. Yeah.
So what were you saying?
So print then space. So copy the event. That's good. Or we can assign that to a variable. Yeah, we could assign that to a variable. So age equals event age. So do that above the if statement. Yeah. Just put age equals event close brackets age. Lovely. And then if age is greater than or equal to, yeah. So then we can refer to that. And then also print age on line 11, just as a variable. Delete the square brackets.
Oh, yeah.
Cool. All right, then try it again. All right, so has it failed again?
Yeah, it seems like it.
Did you deploy the change to the?
Yeah, I'll redeploy it though. But yeah, actually, I don't think I can because it's already there.
Yeah, maybe it takes time to deploy. So we can retry the. Your change has been deployed. That's good. So let's try the step function again. And we want to go back to the state machine. Yeah, that's it. Start execution. Ow. What's going on,
man? All right, let's see what's going on. I mean, I was just looking at the diagrams that you had. Do you think that it's worth kind of putting in that choice of like if you had?
Yeah, we can go into that. Let's just have a look at this error message. What's the error message show?
I think it's going to be the same thing. Missing parenthesis. Oh wait, missing parenthesis and call to print. Did you mean print age?
Cool. Excellent. So you need some brackets. Cool.
Try that again. Okay, so it didn't immediately fail. Oh,
it's green. It's green. Oh my lord.
Oh wait, but this one.
Now we're on this one. It's blue.
I don't think it likes this one though. Okay, so we did something right.
Failed. So we've moved on. So what's the next one? We want to go on to the.
Oh, look at this. So, so from what you just guided, so it randomizes the age. It's going to then filter, so it sees that its age is 47, so that's an adult. Look at that. So now it just needs to be able to be like, this isn't a minor. Okay, cool. We are very close. So I think what we have to do is.
Why was that failing? What caused that last one to fail? Was there?
I'm pretty sure it's the same thing as the reason before.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Yeah. So what we want to do?
So assign that to a variable. Yeah. Yeah, and we didn't assign.
Was it that?
Square brackets.
Square bracket.
Yeah. Cool. And then close square brackets. Close the square brackets on line 8. Yeah.
Oh, yes. That might be important.
Cool.
Okay, cool. And is that everything? Yeah, I think we're good there.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Deploy.
All right. Save that. Deploy. All right. Okay, cool. So built-in function. Yeah, this was the same error that we were getting from before. So let me do new execution. Start execution. Oh, boom.
Yeah, let's have a look.
Bingo. All right, look at this.
Oh, wow.
Look at that green.
Yes. Looks great.
Oh, we love to see it. We love it.
We love it. Yes.
Okay, so this enters age 75.
Yeah.
We then see that it's filtering it as an adult.
Mm-hmm.
And then also it goes classification unknown, so it says that it's not a child. And let's just run this like another time. I want to see what happens if we can get like an actual person. Okay, so this is child. Okay, cool. So this is now age 9. It's going to filter as a major. It goes classification unknown, as in it doesn't recognize that.
Yeah, because we're going to have the choice. We're going to have the choice for the other.
And then this recognizes as a child. So that's actually interesting that like if it's, so for major, if it's 18 or above, it'll always know that it's an adult. But if it's not that, it's an unknown classification. So then it goes on to the next one. And because this is going to be going through the same thing, it's then going to classify it as a child because it recognizes that this is 17 or under. So that's interesting that it'll be like an unknown if it doesn't recognize the parameters of what the function's set at. So
that's good. Yeah, that was our code. That's good. But so we've done well. We've got so this is a step functions without any choices. So this is our first step state machine, and we're going to make another one now. We're going to make our second state machine, finish off, and that will finish for today. And then next time we'll show you linking it with the front end.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. So make a new state machine.
Yeah. And we can call it with choice. This one.
So we'll do next. Wait, was there a way to name it? I didn't see the. Oh, I think we'll probably have to name it. We'll name it in the next following step, right?
Okay.
So we'll enter in the function name. And we're gonna then do
this one's going. The first one's going to be get person age, isn't it? Oh, classify. Yeah.
Name that.
Do you want to change that? Yeah, exactly.
Sweet. And then we'll do next one.
So the next one is going to be a choice. So we're going to have to use a different. Yeah, lovely.
Oh, look at that. So it's already going to be.
That's pretty cool.
It is really cool. So it's already recognizing that there's going to be like different ones.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to move that other lambda in there just as a heads up. So this is going to be the choice.
Lovely. So
there.
the choice one. So we've got a get person age is going to be the same one. Choice now. So we've got to have some rules. So we add a rule to our choice, but we're going to just do the lambdas, the invokes first. That's good.
We'll call filter by major, and then
I think we're going to add another lambda function here as well. Print age.
Sorry, it was just some spam on the YouTube, so I was just blocking it. Cool.
Oh dear. Someone doesn't like our work.
No, it's like these spam bots, and they just like spam like random stuff. I don't understand how like people do that. But anyways.
Cool.
It is resolved. Okay, cool. So cool. So we have get person age. There's a choice. It's going to filter by these two things. And are we going to need some sort of like resolver at the end, or?
Yeah. So we can have a print age function. So we can add a new lambda.
Is it gonna? Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. How do I make it?
Yeah, that is quite interesting. So you have to change. I think you have to change the. You have to check to do that. We're gonna have to change the JSON ourselves. Actually, that's quite interesting. So maybe if people can help with using, we'll have a look at that in a moment. So we might have to change the JSON ourselves to make sure that both of these both call the print age lambda, which we're going to create. But that's all right for the moment. We can.
I'm just trying to see if I can cheat and have it in there, but
yeah, it's a good try. I wasn't able to. Yeah. So I just added it manually to the JSON.
Okay, cool. So yeah, it seems like I'm not going to be able to move stuff around. So am I going to want to check maybe the graph, or?
Well, delete that second lambda you've added because you've got another one there. Yeah. Have we correctly? So both of those are going to the end at the moment, so that's fine. Have we added all of the correct configuration for each of those invokes?
Yeah, we should be. There should be an output here. It's going to go to the payload. Yeah.
Great. And for the choice, have you added choice rules? I'm not sure you've done that. So if you click on the choice one.
The choice.
The choice is in the
this one, yeah.
Choice, yeah. Great. So if we scroll down, and we've got to add a rule here. So rule 1. So we've got to edit that. Lovely. And we add a condition. So we can have a simple one. Yeah, and then this one is $.age, and that is taking from the event, and then the operator is less than, and then number constant or number variable. Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't think it matters. Yeah, I don't think it matters. And then this one we could put 18. Save conditions. Do constant then. Change number variable to constant. So number variable, change that to number constant.
Oh, number constant? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. Got it, yeah.
Okay, you've got a second rule still, so delete that second rule. So delete that, yeah. Press the dustbin on it. Cool. So now we've got our choice and our two. So we can create our print function. So we create a new lambda. So we're just going to create that, and then we're going to add that to the JSON manually. So leave that alone. So put that back.
Okay.
Don't use that. Then go back to the lambdas, create print age. So print age, and that is going to be a function, a new lambda function.
So moving back to lambdas, print age. We're going to make this Python again. We're going to do create function.
Cool. So for this one, we're just going to do age equals event square brackets age. We don't need the random there.
Oh, we don't? Okay, cool.
Yeah. So new line. Age equals yeah, event square brackets quote age end quote. Cool. And we can say print. Yeah, I mean we could just say print the applicant is age something. So just above the return. Yeah, I'll just I'll put it. I'll just slack it to you, just because this is an extra step.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, Jones, because it's just of time zones and stuff, he said that it was super late, but he said it was a really great session, and said he'll check out the rest of the video tomorrow morning. Yeah, thanks so much for tuning in, Jones. This was awesome having you there.
Thanks. Cool. Great. So we're just gonna use that code which I've just added.
Okay, cool. Did you send over Slack or Discord? Oh, I see it. I see it. I got you. Yeah. Okay, cool. So we're going to define a handler with an event and with some context. So we have age and event with age. Then we're going to go print this one. And then, okay, so we have a couple print statements.
Yeah, it's just a print, just to see the results. Yeah, and then a return just to have the same.
And then we'll return it. Alright, so we'll do age, set to age, and then classification. Do event classification. All right. So let's get rid of that extra space. And then for anyone that might be just new to Python, that F connected to a string. Do you want to just walk through? Is this sort of doing like a function and then putting that there?
Yeah, it's just adding a string interpolation. So it's just so that you can add a variable within the string. Yeah.
In Python, gotcha. Cool. So we'll save this, give this a good old deploy. And that's all there. So that's all good. Okay, cool. So
excellent. Now we can go back to our step function. So we can now look at the JSON. So next, so press next because I think we want to add this final function. So I think within, so for the result of Classifiers Miner, so find Classifiers Miner, and we want the next at the bottom. We want to refer to print age. Also, we want to define print age. So print age, we want to copy the JSON for classify as minor or classify as, copy the one of those other functions because we're going to add that to the.
So filter by minor,
the whole of it, So the whole of. So you want to duplicate classify as minor, for instance. So classify.
Oh, gotcha. Oh, so basically like all the way down there. Okay.
Yeah, because we're adding another function to this JSON. So.
All right. So it's at line 81. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
And we need to do comma.
Lovely. Yeah. Cool. So that's going to be the end. And then on each of the other ones, you're going to say next is print. This one's called print age. Yeah, good. And instead of end, for the other two, you're going to say next : print age.
Oh,
yeah. And then in quotes print age. To refer to this function. Cool.
Okay.
You can see it's coming. It's coming.
Already working there, and then we'll put that there for that one. Oh, look at
Cool.
that!
That's pretty cool, isn't it? Yeah. So then you get the choices.
So JSON's like a fallback if the design drag and drop tool is not letting us able to edit it as efficiently.
Yeah, and then you can see it there as well. Still good. The visual aspect is good, isn't it? But you still
100%.
Yeah. We change our print age. We need to change that. So we need to use the same ARN.
Yeah. And just for anyone that's there, so in print age, you'll see this ARN, but if that's ever closed out, you can always just copy it from here.
Yeah. So. ARN stands for Amazon Resource Name.
It's a good Jeopardy answer. I feel like that would be a Jeopardy question.
Good.
Cool. Okay, so we just added that there.
Yeah, you've added the ARN. That's good.
Yep.
And that should be good. The resource.
Oh, and we'll just make sure to do configuration again, just in case. And we'll save that. I'm just going to redeploy this just in case.
Cool.
Oh, no, actually, we're all good there. Okay, cool. So it looks like we are good here.
Cool. So this is good endpoint for this one. And then maybe next time we can struggle with putting on the front end. Yeah.
Awesome. So we'll click next.
Yeah.
And we'll do.
This is with choice, isn't it? This one's got a choice in it. So this is.
What's the other one that I called it? I just want to check the names so that they are the same. So create a new role.
Yeah. Are you allowed to use brackets in the name? Can
You know what? Good call. I'm gonna not, just to make sure that we're on the safe side. Cool. So we'll keep everything the same. We'll create a new role there. We'll do create state machine, and we are gonna see if this works again. So start execution. We're gonna start executing. It's running. Okay, so it's filtering by major.
Taking a while.
Oh.
Okay.
That's good.
Yeah.
So step output. So age 11. Choice. Filter by this. Oh, interesting. Okay, we might need to change the choice. It looks like
we're going to the wrong one.
I mean, it's definitely right. Oh,
we've got the choice wrong, haven't we? I think it must be the opposite way round for the two. So you just need to swap them over, perhaps.
Yeah.
You can do that probably in the workflow studio. So it's probably that the choice is going to the wrong side. So the right-hand side is, yeah.
I want to edit it, but I don't want to edit the JSON. I want to go to the workflow.
Yeah, just press on Workflow Studio.
Oh, there we go. Right there. Sweet. Okay, cool. Yeah, so...
swap them over. So rule 1, you can see the default and rule 1. So if it's not fitted rule 1, it's going to major, but it shouldn't. It should go to minor because the age is less than 18 for the rule, yeah?
Yeah, defines default state.
So you could change it. You could change the rule. So you could edit that and say age greater than 18. Yeah, so edit the, not that one, that one, yeah. Edit the conditions and put is greater than. Cool. Or greater than or equal to, isn't it? Greater than or equal to.
Yes, yeah, the second one. Cool. Yeah, good catch. And then put that in again. We'll save conditions.
Excellent.
We're going to apply an exit. We are going to save this. We're going to save anyway. And we're going to start execution. We're going to start executing. We're going to see. Oh, that was really fast. Okay. That took like 0 time at all. Okay, so let's see. So step output. It was 7. It's classified as a child and then printed 7 as child. Okay, let's try it again. Yeah, this is blazing fast. Okay, so that, oh, look at that. And it's already going to the other side. So age 26.
Yeah.
It classified as an adult. And it's actually really interesting because it didn't even, it knew exactly to check between them. So like this other one, I didn't even go through the step of like, this is unknown. As like the other one, like this is like really fast.
Yeah, because the choice directs the flow.
Yeah, so this is awesome. Okay, this is super cool. And I was amazed at how fast it is. This is super exciting.
So that's a good place to stop, and we can do the next installment in a week or so. Yeah, and we should try and do this more often. This is good. I'm enjoying it.
We really should, honestly. Like this is super fun.
Yeah, definitely. It's a good learning experience.
Yeah.
Good. Well, hopefully other people got something, and otherwise it's up there, and we can definitely develop from this. So that's good.
And I think like probably what would be cool to do would be maybe making like a series, like a playlist, and it sort of could be like step 1 is cloud infra, next state is like front end, and then maybe there could be like a third one and it's like design, and we like make it look cool or make it a little bit more like UI intensive. But
definitely.
Yeah, this was super cool. But Tom, thank you so much for your time. I'll close out stuff just to bring it back on the stage. But yeah, this was like super, like this is so much fun, and I always feel like when we like code together, we always have a blast. So
it's good fun. Yeah, it's great. Well, well done, Brian. Great, and looking forward to the next time.
Yeah, this is awesome.
Excellent.
And again, just really appreciate your time. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Next video, we'll be walking through integrating this into a front-end environment. So kind of taking it out of the cloud and then putting it into something that a user could use maybe on like a phone or a desktop or a laptop. So more stuff to come. So get excited. But thank you again for tuning in. And we'll see you all next time.
Great. So,
all right. Thanks, everyone. Bye.
See ya.